So we're almost done with all the objects in our scene. We have about 3 more, and next we're going to do the lights. So these guys down here. Now, they're cylindrical, they have some vents on them, and they have like a glass piece where you can see the actual light emitting from, and the player walks behind them, so they actually sit furthest in front of the screen. So let's get started working on these guys. I'm going to start with a cylinder, and at this point I think you guys more or less figured you know how I'm going to model stuff. So I'm just going to draw in a cylinder here. And I'm actually going to right click and I'm going to hide everything except the light I'm going to be working on, just so I don't get confused by everything else. So I'm going to give it an extra cap. We don't need all of these. Actually, you know what? Let's keep all those height segments in there because the vents on there are going to be needed to be drawn in. So I'm going to convert this to an editable poly. And if we look at our reference, we got to bring these guys in, down a bit. Down. And then the light actually comes up from that inset right there. So I'm going to grab these guys and these guys as well. And I'm going to extrude upwards. Pull it up a little bit. And then do an inset again. And this is going to be for the cap of the light. Extrude that up. And then the last thing we need to do is on the sides, which are right here and right here. All of these here. We want to have a extrusion come out from the sides. So I want to keep these two on the top. And I'm going to hit extrude. And I'm going to set them to my local normal. Bring them back in a little bit. Alright, so that's going to work as the cap for our light. And then all of these polygons are going to be lit up, and all of the other side is going to be lit up, but these guys will be metal. So it's kind of like they're holding the light down. Next I'm going to grab these vertices, and I'm going to bring them down a little bit. And the reason I'm doing that is just to match the angle on our concept a little bit more. And then I'm going to select the edges in between our height segments. I'm going to hit connect and go to the front of our light. Polygons here. And grab our polygons, and then I'm gonna inset them first. And then I'm gonna extrude them inwards on the group. And then I'm going to scroll down here and make planar, because I want them to all be flat inside here. Okay. And then for our vent, we just need to add a few more edges in here, because the vents on here we have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 little lines that we need to make into here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's a little bit too far down, so I'm just going to grab my vertices and bring them up. There we go. Now they're all even. And now we're just going to do a quick inset. And bevel these guys in. Now if we turn this guy off, quick look at our light, let's see how that's looking. Alright, now I'm noticing that there's a little bit of a discrepancy in the proportions. So what I want to do is I want to grab my light, and drag my vertices up. And I think I just want to take this and make a little bit less circular and a little bit more oblong. There we go. That's looking good. Now I'm just gonna grab all of my faces and my edges, and I'm just gonna assign some quick smoothing groups, just so it's not all faceted and kind of gross looking. Turn that off. There you go. Actually, one last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chamfer this main edge here, so it's not as sharp. Reassign my smoothing groups. There we go, that's looking really nice. And also, we can get rid of all of these back-sided polygons because we're not going to be using them. And we can just really optimize this piece just in general because we have all these edges going into the back that we're not going to need, and all the stuff on the bottom, and we really could optimize this. So let's just do that really quickly. I'm going to delete all these bottom pieces. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to target weld some of these verts out of the way. So I'm going to target weld this guy down here. And then I'm going to hit Control Backspace so I can delete the edges and the vertices together. And if we just take a quick look at that, we're getting a little bit of some pinching there that I don't like, so I'm going to add one of these guys back in. There we go, no more pinching. The pinching is occurring because the smoothing groups are reacting with the fact that the edges are being kind of stretched upwards. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Just get rid of these guys, bring them up. We're going to leave that one. Then bring these guys down. We're knocking out quite a bunch of edges and vertices, which will just make our object more optimized. Okay. Awesome. Now I'm going to really quickly grab my gray material, apply it. Also grab it over here. And I'm going to unhide all. And I'm just going to bring it over here and see how it looks on our base level here. Cool. I want to just change up one little thing here. And I decided that I wanted the sides. When I'm looking at this guy right now, I'm kind of noticing that he's a little bit more square on the side, so it looks like the edges are going straight back as opposed to wrapping all the way around. So I'm really just going to replicate that pretty simply. Just grab these guys. Grab this side here. This side here. We don't want the top or the little edge right there. And I'm just going to extrude backwards. Okay, and we're never going to see up on here, so I'm just going to scoot him back. Alright, cool. The last thing I'm going to do, pull these guys down so they have a little bit more room in case our camera gets pulled back a little bit. And I'm going to give it a little perch where it might be standing on. And lastly, I'm going to chamfer these edges. And delete these little guys down here. I feel like I'm lying to you guys. I keep on telling you that we're done, but I want to add one more little bit of detail to this guy. I just feel he's a little bit plain. And one more time down here. Bevel inwards. Deviated a little bit from the original concept, but I feel like it makes the piece appear stronger. Okay, and then drag them over here. Alright, and our lights are now done. Next thing we're going to do is the wires that hang from the ceiling and the cameras. Wires and the cameras. Alright, see you guys next time.